All right, fellas, let's get into some news. All right, first news. It's been a while since we talked anything financial, and I thought this was interesting to get you guys' perspectives. I know me and Black Zeus. I should call him Mr. Table Slapper, but
You know what?
I keep him Black Zeus for now.
Yo,
So the first news stories. Investors lost a whopping $830 billion in a crypto crash last week. Last week was a very volatile for cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin plunging down to below 30,000 level. It recently saw a high within the past month of 63,000. In the process of nearly losing half of its total value. Other coins followed suit, crashing as much as 63% in the last 7 days. There were two major reasons behind the crash. First, there were the vehicle maker Tesla's sudden decision to stop car purchases using Bitcoins, a measure that they announced a couple of months back. And secondly, another reason behind the sell-off has been China's crackdown on mining rigs across the country. China reiterated a warning last week that it intends to crack down on cryptocurrency mining as part of an effort to control financial risk. So, just your thoughts on, I don't know how much you guys have been following the cryptocurrency craze. If you're on any social media, people are always talking cryptocurrency. Disclosure, I am not investing in cryptocurrency. So,
too volatile for me.
Yeah, for real.
Well, my first thought is, I think that motherfucker was smart as hell.
Who, Elon Musk? Oh yeah.
And I think he rigged that shit like that, bruh. I think he said we're going to accept it. You know what I mean? He had already brought into it. We're going to accept it, have that shit shoot up. You know what I mean? And then sell his shit off, and then say, you know what? We're no longer going to accept it, and that shit drops. So I got a lot of cousins. They thought, oh, I'm into the cryptocurrency and even the NFT right now. They're doing an NFT too.
That non-fungible
that shit is.
token.
I'm trying to get more into that, but some other shit. Yeah, some dumb shit. I'm gonna buy a video forever. Anyway, so I think that again, it's too volatile for me. I don't like the cryptocurrency. I think a lot of people don't understand it. They just see like, oh, I can make a lot of money without really understanding it. If it was something that you got in earlier when it was down in a couple thousand and then it shot up, that was great. But you're actually losing money if you're a person that if you're like a median income person, you just fucked yourself. You know what I mean? So to have a lot of cryptocurrency in your portfolio, I don't think is beneficial. That's just my personal take. And the other thing about cryptocurrency is they said they've got to stop doing it also because they can't. So I watched how the cryptocurrency is run, and it's basically run off a bunch of CPUs, bunch of supercomputers. And they got a supercomputer with a bunch of air conditioners on these supercomputers. Yep. They don't have any place to put these anymore. You know what I mean? And it messes up the climate. It's too much. They're saying it's heating up the temperature of the atmosphere too much. So they can't have too many more of these places where the cryptocurrency works. But if you don't have more of the supercomputer set up, then you can't trade the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people don't really understand the effect of it because there is nothing. There's no tangible token. There is no money. You know what I mean? It's all in computers. It's all digital. Everything is digital.
Thumbs up.
Oh, I had stopped already, but nobody was saying anything, so I just went on.
No, you know what, Smith? To be fair, you're absolutely right. I tried to log onto my computer. My shit was freezing.
Yeah,
but I was saying time on the computer, too.
Who's up next? Who's up next?
I'm not really too sure about how this cryptocurrency works as far as, like, how niggas actually trading through this shit. So until I start seeing, excuse me, my allergies are killing me. Until I start seeing.
And you're outside with allergies. Make that make sense.
Because the wife put him out.
Yeah. I gotta stay close to my grill.
The myth of male power.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a minute over.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. Y'all gotta apologize. I'm just gonna start my shit the fuck over. Now, where was I? Until I start seeing shit that says, Apple Pay, cash, or cryptocurrency, I'm not invested in any of that shit. I don't really understand the whole purpose. I get that one day we may, use a different form of currency, but until then, whenever I see those news stories, I just skip right past that shit because for me, it really don't mean too much. Tom.
All right, Shu, you want me to go, or you want to have the last word on it?
I'll say this much.
Okay.
I played with it a little bit about 7-8 years ago, something like that, and I thought it was interesting. I mean, it was interesting. I saw the volatility and I saw what could be made of it. It's just the fact of that what is happening in China is what I was worried about, that eventually the powers that be will not let the people escape the system. They won't let you get out of the matrix. But the whole thing is that the cryptocurrency is just like the stock market, except being the fact that it's not regulated. It's much easier to manipulate as far as people buying in and people buying out. Elon Musk is quite an influencer. If you follow his views on Dogecoin, that went up from like 0.004 cents to like up to a quarter because of what he said, and made a couple millionaires, this, that, and the other. And so it's going to be interesting to watch this cryptocurrency thing go up and down. But it's going to be volatile unless it becomes centralized, unless there are the powers that be are in control of it.
All right, well, I'll just have the last word. First thing I want to call out is it shouldn't even be called a currency. It should be crypto assets, because no currency is that volatile, as Smith would say. To effectively have a currency and transact goods and services with, I just don't see how any cryptocurrency, I'll put air quotes around it, is going to be widely adapted with such volatility. I agree with Smith, Elon Musk. I think there's a lot of market manipulation with these cryptocurrencies. All you need is somebody notable say, I'm on the cryptocurrency bandwagon. You see it shoot up 30, 40, 50%. And then next thing you know, they're selling and everyone is left holding the bag. It comes across as a big Ponzi scheme, to be honest. I'm not trying to say it is. I think, yes, like Kelvin said, we're going to have a digital platform, a digital currency at some point. But, I remember several years ago when my wife and I, we went to this convention and we was actually talking to a Bitcoin vendor. And at the time, you had all these widely accepted platforms, vendors willing to accept, cryptocurrency, mostly Bitcoin. And now to see the small bit of people now accepting it, I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of where this is going. I just feel like it just reeks of a big Ponzi scheme at the end of the day. But there will be some form of regulation at some point.
Tom.
All
right, y'all want to keep going with this question? I can put 6 more minutes on the clock. Y'all move on.
I'm going to hold my tongue.
I'm just saying, we can put more time.
Yeah, you can move on, man.
We can move on. All right. The next one. This is really for Black Zeus, because I love teasing this dude, getting him riled up. I don't know if you guys got to see the YouTube video I sent where it was a depiction of the Chinese military ad versus the Russian ad versus most recently the U.S. ad. So this is from the Army Times. Comment section removed from Army recruiting ad featuring soldier with 2 moms. 2 weeks ago, the Army officials recruiting website released a series of animated advertisements showcasing the stories of several soldiers on their journey to join the national oldest branch. One in particular featured Corporal Emma. I can't pronounce the last name. A soldier raised in California by 2 arms. It was uploaded on YouTube. However, the comment section has been recently disabled due to the significant amount of negative comments, as well as the ratio 36,000 dislikes to only 775 likes. Beginning May 12th, we started to notice a significant uptick of negative comments. Public Chief Affairs Laura Steve Francisco, the Army Enterprise Marketing Office, told the Army Times. Senator Ted Cruz has recently chimed in and responded to a tweet about the ad, saying, "Holy crap! Perhaps a woke, emasculated military is not the best idea." So I don't know if you guys managed to see the videos, but what's been circulating is the contrast of what our, I don't know, enemies of other nations have put out versus to how the U.S. has gone and advertised their military branch. Thoughts? You can.
So the video was basically what? Just had somebody with two moms?
No, it was the Chinese, right? It was the Chinese, the Russians, and the Americans. And they were showing you bombs and missiles, nigga, bombs and missiles. That's what it basically, they were saying these armies go hard and, you know, America is on some bullshit. But I'm going to tell you like this, though. America can soften a thing because America still feels like they are the most advanced country and that we have weapons of mass destruction that we'll just press a fucking button. So they don't really give a fuck how strong their army is because all they need is motherfucking drone pilots and shit now. Motherfuckers ain't really giving a fuck about going in there fighting hand-to-hand combat. And I think that's part of, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I stopped on the Russians because my son started looking at it and I was like, man, what you looking at? I'm trying to see the guy. I don't know what they sent me yet. You know, I got to screen everything. That's that teaching me. I got to screen first before I know, you know. But yeah, I think like we still have the strongest because we pay money. You know, we pay money for weapons. We got weapons that we don't tell people about until we use them. And then once you find out about those weapons, we make up new weapons because it's always about trying to create the most advanced robotic fucking army force that can just go and kill without having to injure our own. So at the end of the day, like, fuck it. I'm done with that question. Fuck that. All right, fuck that. Two moms, bruh. Like that shit, we keep pushing this shit. God damn.
Oh, good. That was exactly a minute. Your minute's up. But
I wanted to ask Cash. So but I'm talking to Cash because it's Cash time. But it's Cash time. You're not letting Cash talk.
Bro, that's not how the rules work. Whoever got to talk next get to talk. So who's going to go next? And then you can ask your question after the 4 minutes is up. Who's next?
I go.
You can ask whatever question you got,
next.
bro.
I don't got no more questions. I'm done with it. Because I need to Cash the answer. So I'm done with the question.
Yeah, Smith ain't feeling this new platform. All right. It's unfortunate because I did, you know, I watched this several times and I watched other people's reaction to our ads in particular, and then when you do it in contrast to what other nations are putting out there, it's sad because we've read a lot of social justice warrior books and articles, and it's I hear what Smith is saying in regards of our weaponry, but shit, you still need strong soldiers, and the fact that, you know, this is the route they're going, and I think Schubert immediately reacted just like, yo, war is nothing. There's no roses and flowers out there. It's deadly, and it's sad, man. I think the recruiting tool doesn't work. If anything, they could have just easily said this is just a place of opportunities. You know, they didn't need to get all these fucking flowery ass backstories and shit. Mm-hmm. I don't need to know your flowery ass backstory or anything. It is what it is. Oh, I was done.
Schubert.
Since the beginning of time, war was blood and guts. If somebody breaks into your house, they don't give a fuck how many moms you got, what school you went to, what sorority you joined. They come for your throat. And if you ain't strong enough to protect yourself, it's over. Has nothing to do with any of this social bullshit. It has to do with life or death. Everybody else gets that. China, Russia, every other country gets that. Life or death. We are so privileged that we forgot what that means. And it's fucking sad. And one of these days, when these other countries, China, Russia, is going to come and fuck us up our social justice ass.
Agreed.
Dang, that's it.
That's it.
He probably say more in the 4-minute round. Go ahead, Cal.
We
It's
sending gamers.
It's my turn, Smith.
He wasn't even you. You said.
I'm gonna keep fucking with Smith.
But you wasting time when you're doing that, though. I don't got time to waste.
So I looked at this two ways. Number one, maybe recruitment numbers are down, so they're trying to make it out to be, more relatable and friendly. And then number two, I don't know if it was in one of the stories or whatever, but they say, you can't really approach everybody the same way. Maybe they are tailoring to a crowd where it's like, okay, we're going to want you to join in. This is, they're trying to build a different atmosphere to make them go hard as opposed to the other, communist nations where it's more like, nigga, you come here, it's going to be hell, there's nothing going to be enjoyable, we're going to fucking make you do X, Y, and Z, so it's not really, they're not really motivated to come through. That was my minute.
Real quick, I don't know, because when you look at the Chinese ad, military ad, it was an ad about, patriotism. Like, they were very patriotic. In addition to that, they talked about all of the great technology and STEM stuff that programs that you could learn joining their military branch. So it wasn't all bloods and glory in regards of like what you would typically see from a army recruitment ad. It was a well balanced ad, and then Russia was full like, yo, we're gonna slit your throat type of shit.
But
Russia, Mother Russia, they would not play it.
I want to piggyback what Black Zeus said, though. It's still blood and guts, and America doesn't want to deal with the necessary blood and guts of it. So we're going to send gamers. That's what we're sending. We're trying to recruit gamers. Gamers that play these fucking games, these war games, and they think that they can go to war. So it's a difference between hitting a button and being on the fucking ground and actually seeing what that button does, the destruction that button causes. Motherfuckers ain't built for that. So we're taking gamers and putting them behind fucking equipment and saying, go ahead, be a killer. And as a gamer, it's easy to be a killer. But to see that shit, the blood and guts that Black Zeus was talking about, motherfuckers ain't built.
Just for reference, I've trained FBI agents in my time and everything, and I've worked with them, and I was basically explaining to them the difference between when an FBI or law enforcement agent gets sent out and a soldier gets sent out. Those law enforcement get sent out to arrest, to bring the person back alive. Once you send a soldier out, you're not looking for them to bring back, prisoners of war. That's only if you're coming with like a head guy, but everybody else on the field, kill them all, let God sort them out. All right. I've spent God knows how many hours in knife training, of how to slash, cut, which arteries to hit, where is a person most vulnerable, how to basically gut a person. Okay. And the whole thing is that is not for the weak of heart, or to somebody who wants to just sit behind a computer and think like, yeah, I'm a soldier. All right. Exactly. I'm going out here and doing it. All right. I mean, that's the thing. It's like Smith said, we're telling gamers that war is PlayStation 4, and it's not.
Well,
is it PlayStation 5?
You know what? I'm about to. You lucky they're recording this, man.
Man.
I don't know. You know what, though? When you think about it, though, if they're trying to water it down, again, like I said, maybe the numbers are down. And they're like, man, we just trying to get niggas in here one way or another. So
they're trying not to. No, it's this whole environment of toxic masculinity and all this, that, and the other. They don't want, when you have, and I'm going to call it for what it is, when you have a bunch of women dictating how the country and society is going to be run, they don't want to see the hardcore truth. They don't want to see what's behind that ugly curtain. All right? That's just what it boils down to.
I know what my question was, Cash. Did that video have two men also? Did it have two fathers?
Nah, that particular ad did not
only had two women.
only 2 mothers represented in that video, and someone
Girl
pointed out like
power.
there was only nothing but women in that entire ad, but it was
Thank
a
you.
series. It was a series of other ads that the Army did release, but it just happened to be this one that caught the most attention.
But like at the end of the day, like Black Zeus said, ain't nobody caring about your family structure when it's fucking wartime.
Exactly.
Fuck, I care that you got 2 moms for. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
See, let me put
Even with 2
reality.
mothers, you can be a warrior. I don't understand the concept behind it. I don't understand.
And let me put some reality to something. When war goes off, they see a dude like me, they trying to kill me. When war goes off, they see a girl like her, they're gonna rape her as much as possible before they kill her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, are they really preparing this little girl for the reality of war?
No, we was reading that before too, right?
Or are they gonna make sure that she's safe behind a steel wall, playing gamer on some sort of computer system? That's the crazy thing.
Well, they did show her in the ad real quick. I know we're probably pressed for time for this. In the ad, they did show her do the completion of the obstacles or the training.
The training and the reality are two different things.
I agree with you.
They don't train you to be raped. They
don't
train you to die.
They don't train you to be raped. And I forget what book we were reading that talked about that. Like, you can train a female up to a certain extent because the men can't train them to be raped. So when that pressure comes on, would the women really hold fast? Will she be steadfast when she's getting raped constantly by several different men from this army brigade? I don't know.
Remember when we talked about the pugil sticks?
Yes.
Cash. Remember when we talking about, Spartan and the pugil sticks?
Yeah.
That's part of training. You get hit with pugil sticks. Now, the whole thing is, a guy like me, I see a dude coming, I'm going to hit him with everything I got with that pugil stick. Try to knock him into next month. Okay? Yeah. Do you think that same guy's going to try to knock some 115-pound, 19-year-old girl in the same way?
Nah.
Because when she gets overseas, that's when they're going to hit her. They're going to hit her.
Yeah.
With no remorse.
That's time, fellas.
All right.
Wrap that shit up.
Last news story. This is from Oregon Live. So Oregon has joined Ohio in regards to having a lottery ticket for those who are vaccinated. Governor,
my fault. I apologize. Go ahead.
This was for you, Smith. Governor Kate Brown announced Friday lottery prizes ranging from $10,000 to $1 million for Oregonians vaccinated against COVID-19, a strategy meant to address the dramatically decreasing numbers of residents inoculated each day. All residents 18 and older who received at least one shot of COVID-19 vaccine by June 27th will be entered into the Take Your Shot Oregon Lottery, which will be held on June 28th. One lucky vaccinated Oregonian will receive a $1 million jackpot. 36 others, one from each Oregon county, will win $10,000 in prizes. As of Friday, 52% of Oregonians have been partially vaccinated and 40% have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Wrap this up. This is all due to people are seeing plunging numbers of people willing to be vaccinated, and to give an update to Ohio's announcement of the lottery, they did see a surge of 28% shortly after they announced their lottery. So this might work to get people vaccinated. But go ahead. Who got?
Well, I want to go first. Well, I got a question for you too, Cash. I didn't do a follow-up. Did they pay, because Ohio's was supposed to be $1 million every week? Did they pay the person $1 million yet? Did people see that happen?
I did not see. I didn't follow up with that story, so I don't know what happened with the drawings.
So if people are not seeing that money being transferred, people are not going to buy in. And the Oregon one, $1 million, that's all? I mean, I heard you say 10,000 for 36 other people.
Yeah.
But $1 million, that's all. So the other bit is what, 360,000? So you're only giving up 1.3 million, basically? This other state is giving up 5 million. That's more incentive for people to do it because it's like $1 million a week. I would do that. Now, my other question too, did they say that this is only for new people or is this for anybody who's vaccinated?
It seemed like as long as you're vaccinated or partially vaccinated by June 27th, then you enter the lottery.
So even if I already took the vaccine,
yeah, if you already, it seems as though
that's not enough buy-in for people. So that's just not going to work. And I'm done with it. There's not enough buy-in. That's not going to work. You know, you're basically saying that if I get the vaccine, I could be in time. I was done. I told you I was done anyway.
Oh, my man don't waste no time.
Nope. Say my point, and that's it. Hey, little man.
I'm for it.
I watched it.
I'm for it just because you got so many people who don't want to take it. I went to the barbershop yesterday, and outside the barbershop, they had little Spanish people who were trying to get the nurses, who were trying to get the, the patrons. Look, y'all come right down to the corner. We don't need no ID. We don't need none of that. You could just take it. You could just get vaccinated right then and there. I just want to make sure that I qualify for that shit too. So if y'all niggas don't see me for a while, because I moved out to Oregon. What was the second place?
Ohio did it first.
Did it first.
Either or.
Yeah.
Look, they trying to get everybody vaccinated. I understand, different people feel different ways about it, but if you can get those people who don't feel any type of way and just like lazy as hell, it's like, I don't really feel, I would do it, I just don't know how, or, I'm not going to go. I mean, the easier the better, the more incentive the better. That's it. That's my time.
It's interesting. I keep mine short. It's clearly working. If you can see a 20% surge in Ohio shortly after they announced it, I guess it works to do cash incentive. It's much better than some goddamn burgers and fries and beers. Like, honestly, I think that's a much better incentive than that shit. That's the one thing I've been saying. I was like, if you trying to get anybody to get vaccinated, at least do some cash, pay my mortgage for at least a month or two. But hey, it's interesting that all this money is being pumped out. This is something that Schubert, Mr. Table Slapper will always say. It's just like, all this money being pumped out of here, I just think about the inflation of everything, man. That's all it is. Even though it was budgeted economically by the Biden administration, I just think like, man, all this free money, man, this is, I don't know, man. I think we're going to pay a price for all of this. But it's a good incentive, though. I can't admit that. Much better than some burgers and fries and some beers.
It's just sad that in this first world country, and we have become so privileged that we take health for granted and just think it's a inconvenience and some sort of plot against us to be healthy. That's just fucking sad. It's really fucking sad. That's all.
But is it sad when this country has shown a history of misleading its citizens when it comes to their health? Like,
this country has had its share of mistakes, and anyone that understands anything about medical history, it's not fucking perfect. It's people trying to figure out how to make life better. But at the end of the day, we're going to make mistakes along the way. But if you look 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and see the life expectancy of people, that shows you that they're doing something right.
I get that. I think for me is when you look at this history, I mean, this government history in regards of, when early scientists were trying to make a connection between sugar and cancer, and then they didn't disclose that information. When you talk about the history of tobacco in this country, and like how the tobacco industry essentially paid off medical scientists to not report the dangers of smoking tobacco. When you talk about even most recently, like Flint, that state knew exactly that the whole city of Flint water was contaminated with lead, and they hid that information from its people. So it's just like, and then like, shit, don't even get me started with Tuskegee. I know Smith could go in on that in regards of like what they did to the Tuskegee Airmen, and you talk about farmers, being injected with syphilis. So it's just like the level of skepticism is justified. It's just like, you're giving me this vaccination, and you haven't necessarily, as Smith pointed out a couple of weeks ago, it's all experimental. There's another story I was going to report on, but I kind of held back on it. And you didn't know, you got kids now who are now reporting to have inflamed hearts, inflammation. They call it myocarditis. And the CDC is looking into that. So it's just like, there's nothing wrong to have skepticism, because no one should fully trust anything in its entirety with 100% faith.
It's not a matter of whether or not you should have skepticism. And all the points that you made were all about things that were wrong. Things about sugar, things that were causing you to lose your health, that people were covering up. This is not a cover up of something to cause you to lose your health. This is something to help, try to maintain and keep your health. It's in the completely opposite, different direction.
Well,
hold on, let me finish my point. No one is making any money off of this. No one is charging you for it. It's not going to your insurance company. If anything, it's costing us as a nation from every point, from the point of, unemployment, stimulus checks. You think these vaccination centers are open for free? You think that the nurses and the doctors and all the people that are testing and the COVID tests that you can take, you think that doesn't come with a cost to somebody? And you think they're doing all of this just to get you? I mean, when you really sit there and think about the effort that somebody is going through to give you, do for you, and this, that, and the other, and then offer you millions of dollars, you can't compare that to, misleading information about sugar, misleading information about tobacco or dirty water. These were things that people fucked up on and that they were trying to cover up. This is not something someone's trying to cover up. This is a situation that people are trying to manage as they go along. This is new territory for us in a way. We've never gone down this road. So the whole thing is to expect, absolute perfection versus saying, you know what? We're going down this road. We already know it's going to be, bumpy. We know it's going to have issues, but the whole thing is we're going to try to traverse it to the best of our abilities. That's not a matter of skepticism. That's a matter of blind ignorance. I'm sorry. It's a matter of, willful ignorance.
Well, I got a little pushback with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Motherfuckers is making money off this
exactly.
shit.
Pfizer reported
they're making a bunch of money off this shit.
Pfizer reported high earnings just recently off of this shit.
Two, they are asking people in certain areas for insurance. And when they ask you for their insurance, they're going to fucking charge your insurance. Let's not be fooled by this shit. We all know what's happening. Motherfuckers are making a lot of money off this shit. And the third part is transparency. Had motherfuckers just been transparent from the very beginning, so many people might not be so apprehensive. You can't fault people for being apprehensive because motherfuckers have been lied to and duped. And now it's like, oh no, that was just with a particular administration, but then the CDC started kowtowing and bowing to that administration. Too many things went on. Instead of just being transparent and look, if the science is the science, we just deal with the science. Don't bend the science to any man's will. And that's what happened. And so people are like still on the fence. And I can't fault anybody who's going to be on the fence. I was talking to my cousin yesterday and we're still talking about the vaccinated. And she said, so, why didn't you get vaccinated yet? And I said, okay, you got vaccinated. That's all cute. When was the last time you took a test? And she was like, oh, well, and I said, so I just took a test yesterday. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting tested and you people that are vaccinated are putting other people in jeopardy because the initial thing was after you're vaccinated, you're still supposed to get tested to see if you have it. You could be walking around, be asymptomatic, but you don't give a fuck because you got your vaccine. So guess what? I don't give a fuck either because I got my test. You see how this works? It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. So you got to wait till people feel that they are comfortable with doing what they want to do. You know what I mean? That's where I stand.
All right.
Self-restraint.
Yeah. I'm done. All right.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying the fact of.
Oh, no, that's time. That's time. We gotta move on, Cash.
You thought I was about to say something, but then I stopped. I'm pulling up the questions. All right, this week's we're gonna start off this week with a new
Start
book
earlier.
selected by my man, Mr. Henry. Men Without Women. I am not gonna dare to pronounce this author's name. It's a collection of short stories. So, Mr. Henry, would you like to give a quick synopsis of the book?
Sure. Well, it's just a collection of short stories that talks about how the loss of women, whether it be the loss of women from men, men who lose women, whether it's based off of death or divorce or any other loss along those lines.
All right. Boom. All right. So we're going to start off with
And Haruki Murakami. I referenced his name in one of my questions, so.
Yeah, he just asked his woman how to say that shit.
Actually, I didn't. I do my own study. She gave me a book.
Ayo Smith, man, you got once again these goddamn college ass questions. Pick one, bro. Since which question would you want us to go with?
Well, actually, I want to know, could I do two of them, because the you see the last question.
So then let's let Smith go. Let's let Smith go last, just in case we got enough time. We got two.
Well, if you read the questions, they're not bad questions. They go like you was asking the same question that Black Zeus asked, so I stayed away from that one because I saw everybody was talking about the independent organ. You know what I mean? Kelvin, you still talked about that without reading the prior question. So we don't even need to ask you a question because that question is already asked 2 other times.
Or we could ask one of Schubert's other questions.
Yeah, we're gonna go. All right, we're gonna go with 2 Schuberts, 2 Smith. All right, so we're gonna go.
And Schubert, yes, I was doing the bourbon and the other. That's just from my man Black Zeus. I'm sorry, y'all go ahead. I'm good.
All right, man. What's the one question you definitely want us to start off with?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. I want to start off with you.
Oh, all right. Start off with the first question then.
All right, Kafuku. Am I pronouncing that right, Smith?
Yes.
Okay. Kafuku, the protagonist of Drive My Car, divides people into groups. For example, he says female drivers are either a little too aggressive or a little too timid, and identify 2 types of drinkers: those who drink to enhance their personalities and those who sought to rid themselves of something. What's the effect of classifying people in this way? What does it reveal about Kafuku sees the world? And do you think there's any truth to these kinds of classifications? I did like that. Who wants to start off?
We on a time limit, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to start then.
We ain't gonna be on the limit until somebody start talking. Oh, I gotta read this nigga 8-part question real quick.
All right. To be honest, I start off. In regards of classifying people in this way, to be honest, people falls into categories all the time. And this goes to, Black Zeus constant railing of social justice warriors. It's just like people want to constantly try to get rid of labels. Like, labels serves a purpose in life. Mm-hmm. Like, it just does. Like, if you're a drinker, you're a fucking drinker. You know what I mean? If you like to smash hoes, you like to smash hoes. If you a thought, you a thought. But we've gotten into this point now where it's just like we can't call things for what it is. So if we like to say some females can't drive, motherfucking females can't drive. Like, enough with it is what it is. Like, if there's some, here goes my wife peeking over, looking at me, trying to, but it is what it is in regards of classifying people in a way. I think we all do it, and I think it serves a good purpose. I think we shouldn't get into our feelings about how we classify certain peoples. And if it's a right assessment about someone, it is what it is. And then to quickly try to wrap it up in regards of what does it reveal about Kafuku? He's an interesting dude because he's a cuck. Like, this dude I granted, I'm probably jumping ahead of myself with another question, but in regards to what Kafuku sees, I think he just sees how things need to be labeled as. I think I think other cultures in general have no problems with labeling things for what they are. I think it's only in America where we get into not trying to label people and stuff.
That's Tom.
All right, so to piggyback what you were saying, yeah, we're going to constantly classify people, but I do think it has an effect, because I think when you put people in classes, sometimes you don't allow yourself to really see who that person truly is, because you already put them somewhere in a box. You know what I mean? And I think that could be a little troubling or a little off-putting, just because you don't allow to meet that person, just if you put me in a class as a black man and you don't allow me to, to see the depths of my knowledge and intelligence, because you already classified me as that, you know what I mean? So I do think that the class can have an effect on people. I think it results about him. Like he sees it two ways. It's 50-50 with him. It's either this way or that way. Everything that he talked about, it was either one way or the other way, but he also his classification wasn't necessarily correct. It said, do you think there was any truth to his kind of classification? It wasn't necessarily correct, because I forget her name, that he started driving with, the smoking lady.
The smoking lady?
Yeah, the smoker.
Who referred to herself as a homely looking chick.
Yeah, the homely looking chick. Yeah. So he, he found out that, wow, I didn't know, he didn't even trust her to be a driver. And then he ended up falling asleep in the car with her as the driver. And anybody who knows, to fall asleep in the car, you really trust that driver. You know what I mean? Or you really fucking just tired of shit. But yeah, I just thought I thought it was rather interesting that he was classifying everything in like either aggressive or shy, or you either go all in or you have. He never had any medians. And I think that you should have a piece of median. Good, because I was done.
Smith, you do a real good job of wrapping up your last sentence when I say Tom, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was done.
This nigga's upset. I'm upset.
No, I was done. I'm serious. I was done. Like,
I got you. So I think the effect of classifying people this way, I mean, I think that it is, I don't want to say necessary, but it's kind of difficult not to do. You, like, if I'm sitting here and observing you, I think you have to get to know somebody first before you just classify them. Like if I'm gonna, especially we talk about like a drinker. If I meet you 1 or 2 times and you turn up, it's just like, okay, that might have been the case. But if every single time we hang out, every time I see you, every time that bartender sees that one dude coming to the bar, they see that they turning up, then yeah, I mean, that's the truth to the classification. I think it really just comes down to how well you know somebody, or how well you know people in general. Like if I see enough bad women drivers, I don't have to see the next woman drive to classify her as a bad driver. If I see enough, stop there. Schubert?
He just stopped mid-sentence. Okay. Go ahead, brother.
Self-constraint.
Classification is something that we naturally do since we are children. All throughout time and history, we have to classify things as food, as clothing, as shelter, friend or foe. It's a survival instinct that we already naturally have. Now, in our social constructs of the way we think of people, our classifications are general, not absolutes. The whole thing is they're not absolutes. There's always room for nuance, but those generals give us some sort of, foundation to run off of. There's always going to be someone that's outside of the lines of our classifications, and we have to leave room for that. But the whole thing is, in general, those people fall out of our classifications and they don't fall into it and that's what makes them different, is because they do not. But the whole thing is classification are based on generals that we do generally see, and the other thing is the way we receive those classifications is also based on our ego. If I said all black men are hoodlums and thieves, you're going to have a visceral effect and say, no, we're not. But if I said all black men are strong, you automatically accept that because it's something that you want to accept.
Tom.
The whole thing.
Now, hold on. We still got 5 minutes, 5-6 more minutes to go through it. So if you want to let it carry, go ahead. I'm about to say, go ahead, carry it over.
So the whole thing is that the way we receive those classifications is based off of what we want to hear and what we don't want to hear, what we want to be perceived as and what we don't want to be perceived as. But the whole thing is, whatever that person classifies us as, or whatever we classify someone as, that is just in our human nature.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wasn't there a point in that book in that story where she didn't know how to parallel park?
No, I think she always did or some shit like that.
So
he
she
made a
always
joke
did.
because she learned how to drive in the mountains.
Correct.
And he said,
yeah.
so because you drive in the mountains, there's no reason to learn how to parallel park. So he was.
That's what it was. Okay.
He was trying to be humorous with her,
Yeah.
but she was very stoic.
Yeah.
She was like, "Fuck that nigga."
Yeah, she was very stoic. And like just like a male, you know, it's weird that we can find any female attractive.
Yeah. Yo, do y'all feel
It
like
doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter what any female looks like because she was beat. She said,
I know,
like the whole. So the picture that I have in my head, I want to show y'all the picture. I'm gonna show y'all next week of this picture that I got.
This nigga drew it.
Yes, yo, this picture that I got in my head though is crazy because I know the exact kind of female that I've seen like that before, as a Japanese woman too. It's weird.
See, the fucked up part about that is like, dudes would be if it's like a dude who not get with a homely chick. It's like, oh, a nigga knock down a chick for anything, any chick. But if it's a female giving a dude a chance, it's like, oh, well, she likes him for more than just his looks. Like, that's the bullshit to me.
Well, yeah, because I just found out, though, Henry,
that's
that
general
the
classifications.
looks, somebody just was telling me the other day, it was like, it's fine to get an ugly person nowadays, ugly girl or female, because you can change people's looks. I said, shit. I wasn't even thinking on the page of that. People like, yeah, you can change looks. And so it doesn't matter if they're ugly because you can. And I'm like, well, damn, you want to get with the person anyway? Go ahead.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about the idea of like when you get women or America or whoever says, oh, women can't do X, Y, and Z? Them chicks feel like, okay, now I got to go hard and prove that shit wrong. You think it's the same thing with males as a whole? America says
that again.
A female can't do X, Y, and Z. They can't drive. They can't lift weights. They can't do the army. They can't do whatever. They have like this intrinsic motivation, like, yo, I'm about to just prove these niggas wrong. Yes, we can. We equal. But if it's flipped around, oh, well, a male can't do this. A male can't do that. I don't feel like they have that same drive.
Who, men or the women?
Wrong. I feel like the women got a stronger drive to prove, like, yo, we can do that shit than the males.
Man, bullshit,
Hell
bro.
no.
We just read the myth of male power.
We always
the
think we can
vast
do something.
majority of women do not take on the top 20 deadliest jobs. You don't see a plethora of women signing up to fucking be roofers or to do construction, do work on skyscrapers, work on bridges, or work in the sewers. It's just like, nah, bro. They ain't until they line up in the same numbers as men taking on these deadliest jobs. Then I give them credit in regards of having more ambition or something like that, or equivalent ambition.
So you
and they're doing it as a human. That's just human nature for females and males. If you tell us we can't do something, generally, if you tell somebody they can't do something, what they going to try to do? Most people going to try to prove you wrong, female and male. I don't give a damn what you say.
Smith, Bradley,
you tell somebody they can't do something, what they going to try to do? Most people are going to try to prove you wrong.
So with that shit in mind, you think you got just as many men trying to be stay-at-home dads? Will women be like, oh, well, staying at home is just as hard?
Because staying at home is not as hard. Go ahead.
That's not hard. That's not a challenge, though.
Black Zeus, go ahead.
So the whole thing is, what I find is that it depends on what the reward is. Like, men are not going to feel like, oh, staying at home and taking care is so hard versus going to a job and earning money and this, that, and the other, and the prestige that comes with that. All right. You could be a stay-at-home dad. No one's going to look at you with any type of honor or respect. Your stay-at-home mom, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, she's working so hard as a stay-at-home mom. She's cooking and cleaning and taking the kids to school. Like, dear God, like it's a matter of what the reward is. And the whole thing is, most of those women that are trying to prove you wrong, they're not trying to prove you wrong in the jobs that Cash said. They're trying to prove you wrong. Like, yeah, I could drive too. I could be an office manager too. They're going for the low-hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Low-hanging fruit.
Even when you say they join the military, they do not join the military with the same PFT that the men have to do.
Matter of fact, they're modifying.
They don't take the jobs that men have to do in the military. They don't have to do the physical fitness tests that men have to do. So miss me with the bullshit. When they want to do the exact same load, the exact same job, the exact same way with the exact same consequences, then you can have that honor. But until then, miss me with the bullshit. It's not equal. All right. If I got to lower the bar for you to have the same title and the same position, but you get the same rewards, it's not fucking equal.
I need to see the stats that shows that women are worse drivers than males.
Dude, we just read the Myth of Male Power.
The stats that say that they are worse drivers.
Worse drivers.
I don't know if that's true or not.
But in regards to your question, in regards of women having more ambition, that's not even remotely true. Like they could have ambition, but like Black Zeus says, it's just like their ambitions is always on the low hanging fruits of things that men typically do. It's like the comfort zone. Like are you having ambitions in the most difficult areas? And when you talk about it, like shit, in the Myth of Male Power, they talked about like physics. You talk about like any hard STEM program, the women fizzle out. They fizzle out when you talk about those programs.
And then they want to portray it as if they're being, blocked out or kept out.
Exactly.
But it's like, no, most of y'all tap out. And here's the worst part. The ones that advocate the most are the ones that's not even participating. You're not even participating, and you bitching and moaning. Oh, there's only this many women in that. Are you trying to do it? No, but there's only this many women.
That's time.
All right. We're going to Black Zeus question.
Hold on. We asked both of Smith's questions? I thought we wanted that.
No. We're going to rotate.
No, we rotate.
Yeah, okay. Because I like Shu's question on this. In this first story on Drive My Car, that actor knew that his wife had multiple affairs. If the relationship is going well, is it better to know or to be ignorant of infidelity? I don't want to know. If you're playing me, keep it on the low.
I heard that song in my head, too, when I read it.
He's a cuck. That's my word for him.
Is he though?
Is because the thing is, it's just like he's a cuck and he's a weirdo because he chased after one of the dudes that his deceased wife was having an affair with, and I thought that was I want to say this. I thought that was a very female trait. I heard women typically would do some shit like that. Like if a dude has a mistress on the side, the chick will try to find out who the mistress is so that she could try to emulate what the mistress has so that she could compete better and stuff like that. But this is the first time I've heard a dude seeking out the dude who his partner's having an affair with to figure out what qualities this person has so that they could I don't know, to see what they were lacking. It wasn't normal behavior. It was. I think it's better to be ignorant of infidelities, though. To really answer your question, it's better to be ignorant of infidelities. It's, like the saying say, whatever you don't know doesn't hurt you. In many regards.
I don't know. I think we're giving a lot of men a lot more credit because you do got a lot of. I don't want to say they are weak. I don't want to say weak, but a lot of them who will tolerate it. You feel like, dang, what is it? What does she see in him that she doesn't see in me? Let me go find out so I can try to be that person. Now, the answer to answer, yeah, but this is truth. So now to answer that, the question, if a relationship is going well, is it better to know? I think at first, like if y'all got like 25, 30 years in and it's just like, shit, it is what it is at this point. The love is what it is. We did everything we need to do romantically. This is what makes each other happy. You do have those, few relationships that work that way. Starting out, though, until y'all get to that place, I wouldn't want to know, period, at all. Like, no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good timing, Henry. Huh? You must have been looking at that time.
Yeah, I'm looking right at it.
So I'm looking at this. Oh, go ahead, Black Zeus.
No, go ahead. You started.
Oh man, see, I didn't duck my hand back in the washing machine. All right.
Which ain't got nothing to do with your mouth.
No, but I wanted to sit down and talk about the question. It's different. Because first of all, it said if the relationship is going well, is it better to know or to be ignorant? If the relationship is going well, why is she having multiple affairs? That's one. So if the relationship is going well, it's better to know, not to be ignorant, because this relationship is supposed to be going well. So why would I want to be ignorant to the fact that she's cheating on me when I have a relationship that is supposed to be quote unquote going well? You know what I mean? That would be my pushback. I would always want to know. Because again, if this is something that I'm trying to make happen, all right, I need to know. I don't need to be ignorant and as he did, well, let me go and take these guys out and go have drinks to see if, what they have to offer that I don't. That's some bullshit. My fault. Make sure my son wasn't around. That's some bullshit. I wouldn't do that shit. At the end of the day, I need to know because obviously this is not the relationship for me. Obviously it's not. You know what I mean? And if we're going to have that, then so be it.
Schubert think he's slick too, Smith, because he want to go over a minute. That's why he want to talk last. You should have went Smith. You should have went last, Smith.
No, because you still cut him off, and then it starts back up. See, that's what you just did in the last.
Go ahead,
segment.
Mrs. Table Slapper.
This one's here a table slapper.
This one's here a table slapper.
Whoa, yeah.
Never gonna live that one down.
Nah.
Do it for my table slappers.
Anyway, simply put, if you know anything about the history of relationships and the bottom line is monogamy is not something that's naturally done.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, then we wouldn't have to have so many things put around it to make sure that it happens. Infidelities do happen every day in relationship. 50% of marriages that end up in divorce is because of infidelity. It is unnatural. It is unrealistic to think that there will never be infidelity in your relationship. If you think that you are the pinnacle and the perfect thing, that the perfect match for your partner, you are sadly mistaken. You are the best choice at the time, possibly, but you are not the pinnacle of what that person could possibly achieve. So the whole thing is that I think he was being pragmatic and saying and I'm not mad at him for trying to figure it out. Maybe he's immature, maybe he was, whatever the case is, he's going through whatever he's going through emotionally to figure out why this man and not me. It's just, a stroke, a bomb to his ego. But at the end of the day, he decided this guy's not a bad guy. And he actually did care about my wife and he wasn't just fucking her. So at the end of the day, is it better to know or not know? It depends on the individual and where they're at in their life.
True. That is so true.
It's just weird to seek out somebody. It's just like, I grant you, he has no way of confronting his wife because she is deceased. But it's just an odd thing to do. It's just, I don't know.
He didn't seek him out. The guy came to him at a time, the guy approached him and said, "Hey, I knew your wife, this, that, and the other."
Yeah, because they well, to be honest, he did though, because it was just like,
yeah, he went to find him.
Yeah, because they worked on a set together, and then he continuously wanted to meet up with him. Like, so that is just like in my head, it's just like that's a eerie, weird thing to do. But my question is, being that they worked in entertainment, is it expected? Like, if you were an entertainer, would you even be in a monogamous relationship? Because that's where I see a lot of pitfalls with these people in entertainment. Yeah, because she's an actress. He had, I forgot what was Kafuku's line of occupation in entertainment, but it was just like
he was an actor.
He was an actor.
He was a supporting actor.
He was a supporting actor.
Yeah. And every time they would go on a new set, she would get a new dude.
Yeah, so it's just like I just see Hollywood people, entertainers in general, to be fools to be in relationships.
Why?
No,
monogamous relationships. Monogamous.
Why?
Relationships.
So I don't know how he thought that he was in a great relationship when every time they was on a new set, she was with a new dude.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think she thought she was in one. I think that was just Schubert's question.
No. I'm talking about him. I said him. I don't think he thought he was in. He thought he was in a relationship. He was loving her.
It's the low self-esteem, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Didn't they say like he wasn't that handsome and she was attractive? That's for starters.
No, they didn't say that. He was 20-something.
I thought they said that he wasn't as attractive as her. Or she was.
No, he wasn't as good of he didn't have the big star role like she did.
Yeah.
her career was like a lot further than he was.
She was a lot further.
So there go that self-esteem there. Like, dang, I'm lucky to have a chick like this, even though the roles eventually reversed. I think they said after time, but starting out, look, I got me a catch.
But maybe he's just wired to be, monogamous and she's not. Maybe she, maybe the fact of like, because she would cut these guys off when she was done with them. She had no problems cutting them off. So the whole thing, she knew where home was, but she liked to go on vacation.
But she had how many?
And here's the thing, statistically wise, most infidelities happen from the workplace.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's no different than if someone who's working in an office or working at any other place. Like,
there's a slight difference, because if you're an actor or actress on set and you're making out and you're having these sort of intimate roles, like I'm not going to work and I'm getting a script where I could tongue down some other chick like that doesn't, I don't have that luxury at my job to do some shit like that. She does. Like,
you might be in an office with some chick for hours on end, talking about this, that, and the other, getting to know each other. And then you start talking about personal issues, this, that, and the other. One day you have a bad day with the wife and this, that, and the other. And you're she's like, what's wrong with you? You seem off. And you like, well, can I get your opinion or your 2 cents? It all leads from just a platonic relationship.
But man,
what
to
else
be an actor, to get a script that said, hey, yo, you're going to have this makeout scene. And then it was like, oh, let's practice this makeout scene. Like,
but it never said that the guys that she hooked up with were from guys from makeout scenes. They could have been supporting actors. They could have been, a smaller role. There's still a different level of intimacy when I see with actors. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you are putting yourself in a position to cheat.
Yeah, but they're acting though.
Yeah, I have to say that comes along with the territory. Now, I mean, you know what? Because it does come along with the territory. When homegirl decided to marry my man, it's like, okay, you're allegedly or ideally committing to be monogamous. So that whole idea of, I'm going to kiss a dude and be enticed to go further with him, that's some bullshit. You got to be able to fight that.
No,
I don't have to exactly. Not necessarily.
So then why get married?
No.
Unless you're going to have a conversation first ahead of time.
First of all, you know what you were marrying also. I'm an actress. I'm going to be kissing other dudes.
Okay.
It might go a little far. It's the same thing as if you're dating a stripper or your wife is a stripper. You know what you're signing up for.
Smith, a stripper and an actress ain't the same thing. Everybody says, well, the dude's
kissing. No, what I'm saying is, are you built for your wife to be kissing other dudes?
Yes,
if you're not built like
as long as it has to do with money.
And that's her job. Nigga, being a hoe has to do with money. I'm just trying to
but I'm not marrying no.
It's not all in the same.
So if I marry a hoe,
in the same. You said as long as they got to deal with money. Like, she can kiss whoever she wants as long as she's getting paid. That sounds like some bullshit.
As an actress.
All right.
It's still. I see where Smith is going with it.
If she's doing it as
like bullshit to me.
That's fine. If she's doing it as a hoe and I marry a hoe,
okay, she's doing it as a stripper, and her stripping job is her being an actress. It's the same thing. All I'm saying is, you still, as a man, you still have to be built for that. If you're not built to watch your female have a sex scene or kiss another dude or lay up with another dude in a bed on a big screen, then you don't need to be with her.
But that's not what he's saying. That's not the issue.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. You're missing a part. We're talking about the same question, but this is what I'm saying based off of that question. If you're not a man to be with somebody like that because that was his thing.
Yeah, but the question they asking about cheating, not about kissing.
I pose a question about Hollywood entertainers and shit like that.
Yeah, he changed the question a little bit.
As far as I'm sorry. That's the time. I'm sorry, fellas. That's the time.
Okay, Mr. Max Kellerman around the horn.
I don't know how many questions we got left, but we looking pretty good with time. It's 10:15, and we're doing 10 minutes of questions. So if y'all want to extend it, y'all let me know.
All right, let's go to Smith questions. Because it's really Smith and Schubert's question we're rocking out with. The title of the collection is "Men Without Women." Consider the ways in which the men in these stories find themselves alone, not just without women, but in many cases without friends as well. Are there similarities between their situations? What does it mean to be a man without women, both in the title story and throughout the collection thus far? I'll go first. it's I'm struggling to find the similarities. The guys are interesting. They're certainly, it's not what I thought when you read the title. Like, you think like, oh, all these guys are just out here being playboys and bachelors and stuff like that. I thought the one dude was interesting. That young man who, what was that? What was that story? I think
The one that stopped eating.
Nah, the young man
Yesterday.
who,
wanted
the young
his friend to date his girl.
Yeah, his girl, Erica. And
Erica,
I found that dude very interesting because he couldn't be committed to anything. Whereas Kafuku, he was committed to his wife for a very long time. He's married. So I'm struggling. But that dude from yesterday, like, he went out to the States at the end of the day. And like Erica was when Erica was saying, like, giving a report of his update, he was always somewhere new each year.
Mm-hmm.
So that gentleman is interesting. I think he's just, I don't know. It's just, he just seems to be a nomad of some sort. But in regards of connecting these men throughout these stories, I've yet to make the connection. I'm still trying. I probably will have to re-listen to the first two stories to really get a good sense of, the characters, how you could link. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't find the similarities at all at this point. Maybe I'm small thinking it right about now.
Schubert, fuck that. We ain't letting you go last on this one.
Okay. I find that the stories are interesting. So in the first story with the actor, he basically, his wife was his anchor. That was his home base. That was, his marriage almost defined him. Yeah. So when his marriage fell apart or his wife died, he lost a huge part of who he is. In the second story, it seemed like, the young man was trying to avoid, because everyone thought him and this girl were the perfect couple and they would just click and get married and have kids. And he didn't want to be anchored down. Yeah. He didn't want to be, in this pre-written story that everybody told him. And he kind of, subconsciously self-sabotaged himself with everything, with the relationship and with going to school. And in the third story, the doctor was basically trying to stay away from being anchored down by a relationship with a woman. And then he found himself falling in love with a woman and wanting to be anchored down. And when he couldn't be anchored down, he lost it because he just seemed to lose himself. He just let himself drift, where before he had definite purpose and direction in his life as a doctor. He knew who he was, what he was. And then once he wanted to be anchored down, and then he started looking at his life. He's like, I have nowhere to be anchored. I have no island to head to. I'm just adrift. So I think that's what the whole men without women is. It's a matter of how women can either define a man, anchor him, or keep him from, exploring every option.
All right. That's good, Thomas.
I like that. I like that point of view too, Shu.
Yeah, I think as far as the similarities go, the first story and the third story, the men seem similar and like they was just beat for their women. I mean, obviously the dude in the third story was a lot worse. It seems like the first two seem like the similarity is like, okay, they both want what's best for their women. My homeboy, okay, well, if my wife is gonna be happy cheating, then that's fine. And then the other dude's just like, look, I know we're trying to build something, but I just can't get my shit together and be serious. So I'd rather just let you go, or let my homie try to get with you.
That was some wild shit.
Second part, what does it mean to be a man without a woman? Based off of this here, I mean, I don't know. I think each story is different because the first dude was sort of like lonely, but then like finding a new. And I think he might even smash a couple other chicks, but he still kind of felt empty inside until he met that lady who was a friend. The second one seemed like the dude kind of ultimately thrived and figured out what it is that he really wanted to do. And then that last one, I mean, that nigga was just like, you really can't live without a woman. So if you put him in order like that last one, it's like a nigga can't live without his woman. The second one is like getting over the woman. And the last one is like, shit, I'm thriving without him. I mean, I'm telling that an order, but, all three of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Smith.
No, I think that, I was about to say, I don't think the first one is like that. I think all of them still have a need for, except the second one. He doesn't seem to, like, he can give a fuck about women, it seems to me. Or at least this particular one. He puts it off that they grew up together and all this stuff. He doesn't feel comfortable in that they've messed around, but they've never done anything. She's all in. She wants to be with him. He doesn't want to be with her. And like Black Zeus was saying, he did make a lot of excuses for why he wasn't doing anything. But I think it wasn't because he was trying to be with her, not trying to be with her. He just ain't know his fucking path yet. I think he was just a still young motherfucker that just ain't know. Like, at the end of the day, it wasn't like he had drive for what he wanted. This motherfucker learned the whole language and shit.
Yeah.
Just so he could root for a fucking baseball team. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he wasn't smart or anything, but he put his emphasis into something else. The first one, he lost his wife.
Yeah.
And when he lost his wife, he felt like he lost a piece of himself. The second one, I gotta find the context. Maybe it comes back in a later story. The third one with the doctor, that was some other shit. Like, you gonna starve yourself to death and shit? Like, this motherfucker really starved himself. If you was like paying attention in the reading of that, he withered himself away.
Yeah, he was half his weight.
Yeah, like I've never loved like that. I don't know what that kind of love is. That I'm willing to take my own life. I don't know what that kind of love is.
And
I think I only have that kind of love for my kids that I'm willing to say. Yeah, I don't. That's, bruh.
Ain't crazy shit is,
ain't no chick have me like that ever.
Crazy shit is that wasn't even a nigga wife. That's just some chick.
I know.
No, but hold on. But she married herself though.
She was
married. Yeah, she was married.
So it was just like
she was married and he was the side piece.
Yeah,
and then she left the husband for a second side
for
piece.
Another side piece.
And on top of that, I wanted to jot it down, but I was doing something else while I was listening to it. But even he mentioned that, all men need to have multiple wives or multiple girlfriends. So it's just like I didn't understand the ending of that story where he now is so distraught over this one female when he practiced all this time. He had his secretary line up all of these chicks. So
think about it. Think about this though, Cash. Maybe the premise is that you always think that you want more than what you already have before you or some shit. You know what I mean? Because he thought that he was saying you should have multiple women and everything. But at the end of the day, he only wanted one.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a part there that's linking. Like, we think that we need more than what we actually need. And we don't need all of what we're looking for. Because he was sleeping around and shit. You know what I mean? But it was just this one, though. It was this one. She must have had that sunshine.
But look at this. The one, that he fell in love with was the one that destroyed him. Before that, he was fine. In the second story, this man never locked down into this girl because he didn't want to go down this path that was already preordained. So he's free to explore every option and possibly live a more fulfilling life. People see it as like, if you don't fall into this one line of way of being or this, two kids, a car and garage and all that, then something's wrong with you. And it's like, why can't I be, a chef, a mountain climber, or this or that? If I get one life, why can't I be everything I've ever wanted to be? Why do I have to lock myself into this written script from my life?
Yeah.
Even with this guy, even with the actor, he says he gets to be someone else all the time and then come back home to being himself.
To be himself.
So he's always able to explore different options.
She asked him that. She was like, you really like playing other people? You like to be... He likes to explore different options, Black Zeus, yeah.
But would you say for the second kid that young man, like at some point, some level of structure needs to happen for you. You can't just.
Why?
I was about to say, why does he need structure? He's living
You
his
got to
life.
remember,
He's fine.
at some point in time, before we became, before agriculture came into history and we built cities and societies, we were nomads. We
Yeah, I
were
was about
living
to say,
off
yeah.
the land. We were going from one place to another, constantly shifting and changing. That was the way of life.
Mm-hmm.
We only
No,
started.
and I get that. I truly get that. But I think at this point, our society is so complex, and you think about, you know, retirement. You think about elderly care. It's just like, how long could you be a nomad till you then wake up at some point and you realize you haven't committed to anyone, you don't have any savings, because most people I've seen who are nomads either fall in two buckets. They're either poor as shit at one point in their life, at the end of their life, or they're trust fund babies and they are granted the luxury of traveling the way they're traveling. So it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like you could be a nomad up until some point, but I don't think that's something that you could live on for a great length of time.
Not so much in a great length of time, but because the way society is built. But you
Correct.
also have to remember is the fact that it's our nature to be nomads.
Mhm.
Ergo, why it's the whole reason why you will spend a whole shit ton of money to go get on a plane, to go lay in a bed that hundreds of other people have slept in, to lay in front of a beach that, even though there's a beach 5 miles from where you live, you flew 5,000 miles to go to this beach, you know, to have the same type of chicken, fish, steak that you had back at home, because you want to explore.
Yo,
all right?
Shu, I kid you not. I
like
made that
Shu.
same argument, and I stopped having those type of vacation a decade ago. Like, my vacation consists of like adventure. Like, I like, are you hiking and doing
Even
something?
adventure. Think of it like this: when we weekend warriors, if those that work in a 9 to 5, just the same old mundane thing, drive to work, punch in, go do your office work, sit in your cubicle, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
We look for adventures. We go on, things such as Spartan races. We go on things such as hikes and this, that, and the other, to break away from the monotony of the norm of societal life.
Yeah.
So, can you really blame this young man for wanting to be a nomad? We all want to be.
Didn't he settle down though when he became the chef?
He never
Even
settled
when he
down because
that was what he did last.
He went from Colorado to
another
place.
thing.
The chef, he just became
that was the last thing he did.
Because the last thing he did, he became a chef.
Yes,
but
you don't know where his journey ends. That's just
you don't know where
you don't know where exactly.
Because
it doesn't. Cass, my fault, but it doesn't mean that he just because he's a nomad doesn't mean that he's not saving. Doesn't mean that he's not one of those people that aspire to get the boat and live on a boat for the rest of their lives and shit.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? So
you're right. We don't know exactly
can't
how
pigeonhole it.
we don't know. But in regards to Kelvin's question, like, there was a point in which she talks about each year she's getting a different postcard from like a different location, with no return address.
Well, he picked the right profession. Cause nigga, you can cook wherever the fuck you go.
You cook wherever you go.
That nigga want to
be
a chef.
A sushi chef. He might be a sushi chef, and then later on he might be a carpenter. Another time he might be a mechanic. As long as you have some sort of skills.
I'm not even mad at it because you get a lot of niggas who go through their whole life doing shit that they don't like. I'm working at one job that I don't like. I went to college because they said this is the right thing to do. I got married because they said this is the right thing to do. So at least he didn't, do the asshole way where I'm gonna stay with this chick when I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna now I got this whole family and now it's like, fuck it, I'm out. This ain't what I wanted all the time.
Yeah.
Like now I'm gonna pass you on to my man. Because he clearly might be a better look for you.
That's still funny as hell. Yeah.
That was funny. I was just like, yo, this dude gives no shit about this chick.
No, not true. Not true. Because the whole thing
he cared about her.
We got a minute.
At least he was a good guy.
Yeah. He cared about her. I mean, like, no shits in the sense of him wanting to be with her in that regard, romantically.
Nah, he didn't want to be with her for some reason. And she was pretty.
No, but like Zoo said, he didn't care about that entry exam. He was like, I ain't studying this shit.
He didn't want to be with her because he want to be with her because they had two different paths. Man, I'm not feeling this college shit. Fuck that,
Yeah, he was like,
I don't even know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to do this.
Our teachers told us we're a good couple. Our families told us we're a good couple. Everybody tells us we're a good couple. But I'm not feeling this.
Fuck, I'm taking all of this dead on.
He want to be a fisherman and she wants to be an educator.
You know what though? I wondered the part that they're missing that we didn't really get. Did he give her the opportunity to have this conversation? Like, yo, this is what the fuck I want to be a nomad. I want to travel. Are you with it or not? You can still do the college thing.
No, I don't think he we would have ever had that conversation, only because of the fact that he had no interest of being with her. Like he said, it felt weird to be physical with her.
Yeah.
Okay? So why would he have that conversation? Like, hey, you can do this and I can do that, and we can still be together.
Well,
he had no interest in being with her.
I don't even. There's something. Just one last word on this. I think there's something more deeply troublesome with his personality, because he dipped on what he thought was his best friend, or vice versa. Like, he just bounced. Like, he didn't show up to work. He didn't announce where he was going. He didn't even leave a letter or none of that. So it's just like,
because he said, "Fuck that. This is not what I want to do."
But my thing is, he didn't even give courtesy to homeboy, who he thought was, homeboy thought that they were developing a friendship. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I said, Cash. They end up with no women and no friends. None of these men have friends. That's what I said. None of them have friends. They don't have a woman or any friends.
But with this dude, he went about it fucked up, though.
Keep your women, and keep your fucking friends.
Yeah, he went about it fucked up. Like, you just dipping off like that.
Yeah, but if you try to talk and he try to say goodbye, somebody might try to say, "Nah, don't do that. That don't make sense."
Try to talk him out of it.
Like they might try to talk him out. Like you tried to talk him out of it and say, "Like, dude, you're going to end up poor."
Yeah.
I went a little over on that one too, because I know we had a little bit of time left. I know we had some time left. So
it's the last question anyway. I'm about to be wrapping.
All right, last question. Black Zeus, which one?
Wait, this is the last question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we touched on everything. Like we inadvertently kind of touched on all the stories and pretty much answered all the questions that I had.
Yeah, you see my question is about what we were still talking about in a sense. It said Kafuku has a blind spot in his vision that prevents him from driving, but he also has a sixth sense that enables him to know his wife is cheating on him. How is he and other men in his collection both aware of and oblivious to what's going on around him?
Damn.
I don't know if the second dude was oblivious though, but I think the first and the third, definitely.
Nah, I think the first and the second were oblivious, but not the third.
Nah, the third dude didn't know that he had he had the second side. Even though you go to fucking KFC, niggas ask two sides.
My man he told the dude that they have an independent organ that they can lie. And the whole thing is, it's like he is.
I'm almost
here's the thing. You're a man who is notorious for dating women that are already in relationships. You're notorious for them lying to say. So if anybody knows the game, you should know the game.
Yep.
All right. You are the game.
Yep.
All right. So if anybody should not have a blind side or not be aware, it should be you.
Exactly. Like, you purposely are sleeping with other men's wives, bro.
Like the first dude was a married man who was in love with his wife. That's all he wanted. The other dude, he was in a relationship with this girl, but he didn't know exactly what he wanted. Yeah. This dude knows, hey, I'm on the outside looking in. Yeah. Oh no, my man, I'm gonna smash your girl anytime she let me in.
Yeah, he was playing the mistress part, but yeah, he was offended.
My man even had the ultimate wingman, a gay dude setting up and covering up for him and everything,
setting up all his appointments.
So how could he possibly be oblivious? If anything, it's like he got high on his own supply when he got hooked on this girl.
So let me go because I want to answer this. I want to answer Schubert's. The homeboy probably felt like he understood the game to the point where it's like, yo, I got this shit down pat. I've done this so many times. I can tell, but this may not happen to me, or I can see all of the signs because I've been in every situation to create all, to know which signs to look for. So it's like, yo, I would know if this shit is happening to me. When I'm with, I would know X, Y, and Z. So I think the only unpredictable thing with him that he didn't realize that caused him to have this blind spot was the fact that he fell in love with this chick. Yeah, I cheated on not cheated, but all these other chicks who I knocked down. This is the one, though, who I'm in love with. Like, if any other chick had did the same exact thing, that nigga's not losing. He's not cutting himself in half, weight wise, and having spoiled ass food up in the damn fridge.
So I think I did something similar to that when I was my first year in college, and the girl that I was with in high school. But it wasn't like, I'm going to stop eating and shit. But I was writing letters and shit like, I miss you.
You were writing letters? I can't see it. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I write letters, brother. I write letters.
I don't mean to classify you as some.
Go ahead, Smith. I'm
non-sensitive person.
Oh no, I'm
Smith,
done. I got layers though.
I'm gonna give you 10. I was gonna say I'm gonna give you 10 seconds back because Cass stole that shit.
Nah, I'm done. I got layers. I was just talking. I was just thinking about my own. As I'm reading this, I think about my own life, and I'm like, damn, have I ever been in that situation? You know what I mean? Have you all been in those situations? Like, you got to think about it. Have you ever been the second piece on a side of the KFC meal? You ever been the second dude?
Yeah. That's fucked up, bro. That's like a biscuit.
And did she tell you that you was the second dude? Like, you knew you was the second dude? You know what I mean? Like, have you? So I'm just thinking about my own life. Like, wow. And that's all. I just be having me reflect back on, my situations. And then I realized that I've actually been with a lot of women. So I have to actually look at it like, wow, interesting.
It's crazy how that shit only really, I don't know, you kind of heartbroken like that when you're young.
Yeah, when you're
and
young.
Naive, but then it's just like a chick could do the same exact thing, when you're in college, or when you professional date on the dating scene. It's just like, all right, man, fuck this bitch. That's why it's difficult for me for a dude who has knocked down all of these chicks to not be sad to that extent. Like, that wasn't even your woman. Like, and you going hard to that extent. Like, what did you really think your relationship was when she already had a husband?
But she was the one, though.
And it's like, nigga, she's fucking her husband every night. You sad that now she fucking a third dude?
Yeah, see, but that's easier said than done, because the whole thing is, you're talking about logic and reasoning. The whole thing is, emotions are not logical. Emotions are not logical. If that was the case, nobody would be with nobody, okay? But emotions are not logical. And to assume that his emotions are going to be logical, that is just unreasonable.
Yeah. You don't know how you're going to be feeling. Yeah. I guard myself now, fellas, just to let y'all know. Because I'm divorced, so my feelings are guarded. You know what I mean? And I'm mindful. But my feelings are definitely guarded.
Protect the heart, bro. Protect the heart.
Yeah, you ain't gonna have me out here looking all
Don't let
crazy.
these succubus get you.
You ain't gonna have me buying you no Birkin bag. Talk about something, but I love her.
These succubus out here, they take your life force.
How are you buying a bag? Love you. She got 3 that she go out with. Why are you the 4th?
Now, would you pass those lessons to your son? And like, what are, because a lot of times what I'm noticing now online is you got a lot of young men who are not wanting to go through those trials and tribulations. They just like, I'm just going to guard my heart regardless, without knowing, and going through that process of, at least loving.
No, I would say love first. You gotta figure that out. There's no one like Black Zeus said, it's an emotional thing. So I can't say that, don't become emotional, don't love. You should love, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should definitely love you, or at least have that experience to know what love is, you know what I mean? Not to just go in there blind. I'm just saying, me personally, I'm just mindful because love at my age is not what, you know what I mean? Love at
it's
my
a financial
toll. It's different. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, like,
it's not just an emotional. It's a financial toll that love at our age.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing: when you want that high school love, the most you got to lose is getting your heart broken. But once you become like a grown man in your 20s and older, you know, you can lose your finances, you can lose your job, you can go to prison. You know, this the toll is much higher after high
You can
school.
lose your sanity,
Well, yeah,
like that man did,
but I'm just saying, in this society, where it's like, you know, you could be drunk, she could be drunk, but because, you know, you're the male, you're the one that's going to jail. Okay. You might want to try to push up and get her phone number, you know, because you think she's cute, this, that, and the other, and she's not feeling you, and you're the one that is losing your job because, you know, of sexual harassment. You know what I mean? Like it's a different environment now where the cost of quote unquote finding love is way too high for men. It's way too high.
Way too high. Definitely agree with that. Way too high.
I mean, it's not just getting your heart broken anymore.
No, it's definitely not, because
they go together.
These divorce rates is still something else.
Yeah.
But the problem is, though, it is like I see young men now who are seemingly not wanting to even experience it, like the young man in story number 2 yesterday, because apparently he doesn't seem like he's interested in anyone romantically, except for his own self-interest.
Is that wrong?
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that, you know,
I mean, because at the end of the day, right? When you look at romantic interest, who has the most to gain from a romantic interest? Men or women?
I'm about to say, I think a female does. I don't know if I have a lot to gain.
I mean, it's not a lose game for women. It's not.
Well, yeah, it can be, because let me say why. Because a woman's number one valuable asset is her beauty. So if she's committed to this dude for 10, 15 years as she's aging, and then she for whatever reason the relationship ends, she is no longer a valuable asset to the dating market.
Okay, but if she has got this dude's child, or she married this dude, she's got a check coming to make up for her losses.
It depends on the type of dude she is.
Right.
She got with, because
it might depend, but
because if the dude is not bankrolling like that, then it really doesn't mean much. It doesn't amount to much for her.
Yeah, but the whole thing is she has that asset. So, for instance, let's say she gets with the dude and she has a baby with him making $20,000, right? Child support is based off that $20,000. Now, yes, they're divorced, they're separated, whatever the case is. Now he's 40 years old and making, you know, $100,000. Guess what? The court will up that shit based on what new money he's making. Even though she's been getting by on that money before. So the whole thing is, once again, where's the lose?
I get that, but my thing is
what about chicks that are not beautiful?
But that's what I'm saying. Like you got chicks now. Like if she's committed, she gave her body shit. If you ever watch, there's an Instagram channel on I forgot their Instagram page name, but like it shows women after pregnancy and all their scars and their stretch marks, and it's a horrific image. So it's just like you got a lot of chicks who are self-conscious of that. Like, so if she's given her youth and her body, and it doesn't pan out, and she finds herself 30 being in her 30s and 40s in the market, then it's just like she's no longer valuable. There's a lose for her in that regard.
Okay, so
many dudes ain't trying to be stepdaddies.
So the man isn't giving 10 years of his life.
I'm not saying he's not giving anything, but what I'm saying is she's also giving something too. I don't want to paint a picture that women are not giving anything up.
I'm not saying that they're not giving anything up. I'm saying, is their loss as high as a man's?
Well, that wasn't what you said, though. You said there wasn't a lose for them.
Okay, you're right. I stand corrected. What I meant was, is the cost as high of a cost for them?
No, you're right. In that regards, no, because shit, my man Smith then went through a divorce proceeding and stuff. The cost of financially being committed and having the family court system drain you and emotionally drain you and financially drain you, it's not as high.
Yeah,
No,
I
not
think
as
in the long run though, the male still makes out better. Cause yeah, you got to pay child support. Then when that nigga turn 18, I mean,
what? Go ahead, finish your statement,
No,
please.
I'm about to finish.
Please
No,
do.
I'm about to finish.
You didn't got Smith's attention with that one.
I'm about to finish. Like, yeah, the nigga's paying child support, but depending on what type of dude this chick wants, she's not getting no other dude that's gonna want to fuck with a chick who got a kid. So it's like,
Not true.
Not true.
I said
Not
it
true at
depends.
all.
It depends on the type of. It depends on the type of dude that you get with. Absolutely, that shit is true.
Well, here's the thing. If that girl was looking to get that type of dude, she got him in the first round.
No, well, this dude could have been. So the first dude,
exactly.
okay, so the first dude you could have got, well, it could be the nigga who's taking care of you. You ain't got to work. Then it didn't work out for whatever reason. You're not getting that nigga again. You're not getting another dude who's about to take care of you and your kid now. You ain't getting that shit.
Well, the whole thing is, if you
true,
wasn't going to
Henry.
get
That's
that,
not true, man.
number one, if you wasn't going to get that dude, you know, because you tried out and didn't work out, you was going to get that dude anyway. You did not get him. Your opportunity came and it's gone. All right. So now you got dude number two, and now you had dude number two's kid. Even when you had no kids, you wasn't getting that dude. So now that you have a kid, it makes no difference. Same end result.
And guess what, Henry? There are a lot of dudes who are willing to take care of other people's children. It's a lot that's not, but there are a lot
take
that
care
are willing
of the children. No, yeah, I agree
to
with that,
become
Smith,
to make
but not
her
taking care of
wifey,
both though. I'm not taking care of both. I'm not taking care.
What do you mean both?
Well, I'm taking care. Okay, so you get it. You get a dude. First,
the misconception is 18. It doesn't stop at 18, Henry. Depends on if they go to college and all that.
It stops when you get out of school. So first dude is taking care of you and the kid. Meaning, you ain't got to work. You just sit back and chill. You ain't got to do nothing. Not do nothing, but you hold the house down. You're not getting that again. I myself, I'm not. If I'm a dude who could take care of this, cool. I want a wife. I want to stay home and take care of my kids. Mm-hmm. I'm not choosing no chick who already got a kid. Like, no, I'm not.
Henry, you're not.
The average nigga's not doing that shit.
No, that's not true. Listen, I'm going to say this. Let me say this. So when I was going through my divorce, I told my wife that shit. I was like, it's going to be a lot harder for your ass to get a dude than it was for me to get a woman, because you got 3 kids. 2 by me and 1 by another dude, right? Mm-hmm. She got a dude, nigga.
And is the
dude? Yeah, but you was talking cash shit to your wife during the divorce proceedings.
Smith.
She was like, yo, you ain't getting nobody.
I was telling her that shit.
Smith be like, yo, you ain't never getting dick again.
Does what,
Smith, that's not what I'm saying. Does your wife work?
Yes, she does work.
That's what I'm saying.
But Henry, she's always worked too. So what are you saying? Like, she's always worked.
But that's it. Smith, I agree.
There's just a female at the house, and you're just taking everybody's not doing that. First of all,
I agree, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna be in that situation,
wait, let's talk about our situation. Don't all y'all wives work?
Yep.
So what the fuck are you talking about, Henry? Like, what dude do you really know? What dude do you know that's in your circle or that you've been around where he got a stay-at-home wife?
Smith,
that you know. I ain't talking about NBA players. I'm talking about that you know.
Smith, the point that I was making was, if that's what the chick wants, you're not getting that shit again. So the dude is making out in the long run.
And I'm telling you, that's not true, Henry.
That's the dude she would have got with in the first place. If she was looking for that NBA, that rapper, that movie star dude, and
you don't even need that. You can have a nigga who earns $300,000 a year.
Okay, all right. So
and he don't have to be rich.
But the whole thing is, if she could have got that dude, she would have been with that dude. But if she did not get the $400,000 dude, and she got the $40,000,
okay, so what if you did get the $300,000 dude and you fucked that shit up? You're not getting that shit again. That's what I'm saying. And she loses in the long run. That's what I just said.
No, there's not. She lost it. No, hold on. Let me finish my point.
You got a basketball. Wait, because it'll bring it home for you. You got a basketball wife who was married to 2 different NBA players and got a kid by both of them. What are you talking about? That happens, bruh. It happens. There is no cookie cutter. There's always an exception to every rule. It happens. So
you're right, Smith, but that's why I said the average. I didn't say every. I said the average.
But you're saying it won't happen again. And it can happen. But it can happen.
You're right, but the chances of it happening are smaller.
In your eyes, because you're not going through that, because you're as happy
here's
as
the thing.
Henry. In other people's eyes, it is happening.
At the end of the day, she was average to start with. That's why she got average results.
Ooh.
Did you ever consider that? If she was,
I like that, but she could have just been.
If she was Beyonce, she would have got Jay-Z. Okay,
she could have just settled too.
If she was Beyonce, she would have got Jay-Z.
I was like, maybe I missed the part. Are we talking about one specific person or just women in general?
We're talking about in general.
So that's what. But if you get
here's the thing. Here's the reality. Here's the reality is that most of us are average. Most of us dudes ain't getting supermodel chicks. Most chicks aren't supermodels, and they ain't getting NBA or NFL players. That's just the fact. And to for a chick to be like, "Oh, you took away my best years, and I could have got." No, the fuck you didn't, bitch.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't have got that.
You were average to start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's a lot easier for
you know what? That's a nice
over.
kind of argument to what I said earlier.
I think it's a lot easier
to begin with. So
it's a lot easier for a dude to start over, though. It's a lot easier for a dude to start over than a woman.
Well,
like I could be 50 and find me a 25, 26-year-old, and out of the panel, no, of course not if you broke, but out of the panel here, just out of the panel here.
Okay.
If you were in a position where, okay, I could start a family and have my wife stay home and just hold shit down, cook, clean, take care of my kids. How many of y'all are choosing? I can either choose a chick who doesn't have kids or a chick who has kids. Who's going with the chick who has kids first over the one who doesn't?
What she look like?
They both look the same.
Oh, they twins.
They twins. Yeah, they twins.
Oh, okay,
identical
I got
twins.
that. I'm gonna go with the one with no kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's
so the one who got the kick.
But that's the choice that I'm making now.
Hold on, wait, Smith. Hold on.
Let me finish answering the question. Let me finish answering it. I'm gonna go with the one with no kids.
Okay.
Now the flip side of this is, if I can't get the one with no kids, I'm gonna go with the one with a kid.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
Okay, I got it. But first choice, Schubert. What would your first choice be? Same exact personalities. Everything's the same. The only difference is one of them has a kid and one of them doesn't.
I'm obviously going to go with the one with less responsibility, which is going to be the one without kids. But guess what?
Hey, Schubert,
that's her choice.
Responsibility.
But that's what I'm saying. So the average.
That was the game that showed up. That's the game that she played. And
she lost in the long run. That's what I'm saying.
But the whole thing is that loss isn't necessarily a complete loss, because at least with that loss, she might have lost out on me, but she's still getting that check from the other dude. If anything, if I got with her, she's winning on both ends. She got a dude taking care of her, and she getting a check from another dude.
Okay, so now flip the scenario. You got the chick pregnant. You took care. You took care of her. Or you took on another kid. She had your kid. Y'all got divorced. She moved on. You still got whatever money you got. You find another chick. You still felt like she made out better in the long run. She's gonna make out better than you in the long run.
Who? The chick that has my kid?
Yes.
Yes. Because she's getting a check from me, and she got another dude up underneath her. Win-win.
Yes.
She's living like that every day.
But when that shit
like that got 3 or 4 babies.
Smith just said that's what his situation is.
But when that shit runs out, nigga, you still are making the money that you making, and she ain't. And now she with a dude. Granted, now she got another man.
I could lose my job.
He can lose his job.
Oh my God!
And not necessarily.
Then she's not getting the same money anymore.
Wait, and not necessarily, because you're just assuming that everybody is done to sell. What if she's taking that money, that $500,000, that $500,000 that she's going to get over X amount of years, and she's invested that shit? Don't assume. You just assume. Don't do all the assumptions. People are different, even though we want to say they're not. Yeah. And I always got to play devil's advocate and say, you don't know what that woman is doing with that money. So,
and at the end of the day, as a parent,
you don't know
this much. And my child is an asset to me and me alone. So her child is an asset to her.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
right, her child's an asset to her. Her child's never going to be an asset to another man. So at the end of the day, regardless of whether she has a child, doesn't have a child, whatever the case is, your child is your asset. So she's again,
but it's the other man's liability.
It's another man's liability, but that's not the thing. That we're not talking about whether it's his liability. We're talking about whether or not it's her loss. So if her
It is
child
her loss. If for the rest, if I gotta walk around and say, well, damn, this kid is gonna be a liability to whoever
that
else
is
I have.
her kid.
Exactly, but whoever I try to get with, it's gonna be a liability.
Liability as far as possibly a liability towards her dating life, but for her directly, it should not be a liability. Do you think Smith walks around with his 3 kids and say, "Oh, these chicks don't want to date me"? These
Smith
kids
only got 2 kids.
I only got 2
okay,
kids.
And it's a lot easier for Smith. It's a lot easier. I think.
But
that
let's say Smith. Let's say chick said,
"Don't be adding no kids on me."
All right. Well, let's say Smith. You know, Smith is in the dating market, and his girl says, "Okay, there's a dude that just looks just like you, your twin brother, and he got no kids. I'm gonna go with him." Do you think Smith is gonna be like, "Oh, these kids are a loss to me," or he gonna be like, "These are my motherfucking kids"?
Well, it depends. Is Smith looking to be taken care of? Because if Smith can take care of his kids and his new wife, then it ain't gonna make no difference.
Well,
She's still getting taken care of.
90% of chicks out here got a job.
And 90% of the chicks out here going to tell you, my kids and we're a package deal.
Exactly.
So, okay,
whether they got money, a job, or not, they're going to tell you we're a package
and
deal.
I'll take the package that doesn't involve kids.
There you go.
Really, that's what I'm taking.
It's a choice.
So really, it's so this is where you got to understand is that it's a matter of you as the man, like whether or not you want to deal with that shit. At the end of the day, her kids are her kids. They're not a loss for her as far as like socially or whatever the case is, or for her specifically. But they're only a loss towards the man.
3 out of the 4 people on this panel wasn't gonna wife up no chick who had a kid previously, which proves the whole point to be true. And we're not even high earners. Like, that proves it true right there. She's losing in the long run.
Hold up, don't you have to be a 6-figure?
No, because remember, Henry, I wasn't going to marry a chick that had a child, but things.
I'm just saying you did though.
Change. You're
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Things change. So you could say one thing, but things have a way of, being different. Out of my relationship, I got 2 beautiful kids, and I'm divorced, and I'm happy. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? But things change. So you could say one thing in one breath, and it changes. That's all.
I mean, fine. Say that, her kids are lost in the dating market. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's, like, I don't know. To me, I'm sorry, Kel, but that sounds like some simpish excuse. Like, oh, she lost her beauty and she has a kid and this, that, and the other, and you get to keep your money and keep working hard and this, that, and the other.
And you can start over and there's no loss to you. Look, hey, it didn't work out with the first one. I'm going to try again.
Oh, listen, that's a matter of choices you got to make, homie.
That's a matter of choices you got to make.
The whole thing is, if you felt like this dude wasn't your A1 dude, then you shouldn't have got married with him. You should have had open your legs and had his kid.
That's exactly, and it's her loss.
Basically, no, Schubert, it's like this. If they're not an A1 dude, you should not be sleeping with them, basically.
There you go.
Plain and simple. That's what it boils down to. Because you can still get pregnant. No, because you can still get pregnant. And if this is not the dude that you want to be with, you should not be sleeping with them. Exactly. Plain and simple. You don't want to have a kid with this dude, you should not be sleeping with this dude.
Oh, no, but I'm not talking about, like, marriages that don't work out. I'm not talking about, just regular-ass relationships.
But sometimes marriages don't work out, but the people stay in the marriages, so, too.
I would say this.
There's one blanket statement, man, because a lot of people stay in marriages just because, it's easier to just stay in a marriage. Some people don't want to go through the divorce just because, as, the song says, 1, as a male, is cheaper to keep her. 2, as a female, like you said, I'm past my prime. So, I'll just rock out with this dude and maybe we'll have a relationship where it's the open relationship where we can go and sleep with whoever we want to sleep with. But we're still going to be together. Africans do that a lot. They'll stay in the same household and be divorced or separated and date who they want to date and all that bullshit. Or be married and live on different floors.
They do that a lot. You're right.
My students tell me about this a lot because that's how their parents are doing it. And I talk to myself. I told you I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions.
I have a lot of friends who did that.
I just looked at the clock. I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, all right. I know everyone got to go.
All right. Yeah, you saw
Everyone
us.
next
Hey,
week.
wait. Before you get off, I'm gonna show y'all this thing because you're gonna be getting this soon. Cause he got off. Y'all see this thing? Wait, let me turn this around.
Don't whip out your dick or anything, bro.
Oh man, you see this big ass fucking
Nah, too big, bro.
Spider-Man shit? Shit too big, right?
This shit big as hell. Yo, did
That
you
shit big
see?
as hell.
Yeah, I got
this me by it, so you see how big this shit is.
that
right?
shit is big. Yo,
Shit
I
big
gotta
as hell.
send you a video of a drunk Spider-Man at a party. You'll be dying your ass off, bro. Somebody
He was dancing and stuff.
he was there. He fucked himself up, bro.
Wow.
That's crazy.
All right, fellas, man.
All right,
Next week.
enjoy.
All
Yeah,
right.
right.
peace.